So I'm doing my video OSCE with Tori. She is 5 and 8 months, and this is her mother's permission slip. Alright, so we're going to start with this, and I'm going to give you this pencil, but we're not going to use any eraser today, okay? Here you go. That's for you. And I need you to make this in this box here. Make one just like this right there. Try the next one. And the next one. Good job. Okay, getting harder. All right. Make this one in that box there. Good job. Keep going. Okay. And this page, right there. It's getting trickier. Do the best you can. It's all right. Push it.
I have one of these.
That's okay.
It's a different kind. This one's hard.
Just do the best you can.
This looks kind of easy. I forgot there was no eraser.
There you go. It's okay.
I
Do the best you can.
I always have to go up because
Good job. Try this. Keep going. Good job. How about this one?
this one looks hard.
I bet you could do it.
I don't know how to make these shapes.
It's alright, keep trying. Just do the best you can. Oh! That's all of them. Good job. We're going to use a red pencil. Okay? Red pencil. And I'm going to show you this. Don't do anything, okay? All right. Yeah, kind of. So you're going to draw a line on the path from the car all the way into the house. Ready? Begin.
Did it?
Good job. Now, draw a line on the path from the car to the house. Take your time and do your best to stay in the line. Wow. That's all right. Good job. All right, ready for the next challenge? Okay.
Do we have to draw the dots to draw it?
So you're going to start here. Wait till I say go, okay? Start here, and you're going to connect the lines, but you cannot pick your pencil up, okay? All right, so take your time. Draw a straight line to connect all the dots. Keep the pencil on the paper until you connect all of them. Ready? Begin. It's okay. Good job. All right. Thank you. Next challenge. Uh-oh, hold on. Gotta rotate my... All right. This one, we're going to rip this paper out of the book.
We're going to cut it?
We're going to fold it.
Oh.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So let me fold it out. Get it all ready for you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to fold the corner of the page like this. Okay? Now you try it and fold the corner. Now fold all of the other corners. Now fold on this line.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at folding.
No.
Like
I think you're doing a good job.
My dad always picks me up.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Good job. Okay. And then you tell me if my jumping jack is good, okay? Feet out, hands out. How does that look? Okay. Do you think you could do 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Your arms and your legs up. Okay? You're going to try to hold it. Okay? For as long as you can. Whew. All right. When I say go, ready, set, go. Woo! Keep going. All right. And stop the ball. Think you can catch it? All right, I'm going to throw it to you. Ready? 1. Woo! 2. Look at that arm. Do you play with Dad? 3.
I play lacrosse and I can catch the ball.
Oh, cool. And one more time. Nice. You're good. All right. All right, I'm going to do something and you're going to copy me, okay? Can you go like this? Can you go with one hand? Flip the pancake over with one hand. Oh, that looks good. Can you do it with the other hand? Can you do it with both hands? Can you do it fast? Can you do it slow? Awesome. High fives. Good job. So what I got here are, show the camera, little ghosts. Think you can cut this out for me?
Yeah.
All right. I know you can. I'm going to cut mine out too, okay? And then I got some eyes we could glue on them.
They look like duck feet.
Duck feet? Do you do a lot of cutting at school?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who's the art teacher?
Miss Tate.
Miss Tate? Oh, she's been there for a while. Here, no, you want to cut this one out?
Yeah. I thought you said me. No.
Good job. Good job. Can you cut 2 black eyes out?
Yeah.
You got everyone involved.
There.
Good job. All right, so now we're going to glue these little black circles on for eyes.
I just put my
Yeah, you can put your trash over there. All right. So here's some glue. Might have to squeeze it a little to get it out. Is it coming?
Yeah.
Is it open? Yeah.
It's hard to squeeze.
Is it hard to squeeze?
Yeah.
All right, use some muscles. Good job.
One of my friends used way too much glue.
Oh, really? What happened?
He does
All right, Nola, hit those with some eyes.
He does a lot of glue in our work packet, and then all his paper sticks together.
Oh no. Okay, so with this tissue paper, what we're gonna rip pieces off like this, and then we're gonna roll it into a little ball, and we're gonna cover him with little balls of white, so he looks like a fuzzy ghost. All right, so would you like me to spread some glue on here since it was tricky, and then you can do some balls?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. Rip away. Rip and roll. And I'll put some glue on here for you. Ooh, it is a little bit tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Muscles. Good for you for squeezing that out.
Yeah.
I'll help you make them. You can make them as tiny or as big as you want.
That sounds like my dad.
We should put a light on in here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
That's
fan.
tiny.
That's a fan.
Yeah, I keep ripping tiny pieces.
If you rip a bigger piece, it'll be a bigger ball. Like that.
Look, I'm just going to use this piece. It's so tiny. My mom and dad are going to see a funny play.
Tonight?
Yeah.
That's so fun. They're not taking you with them?
No, because it's only for adults.
It's only for adults?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's a grown-up play?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
And they do real life people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of tricky to pull. Whoa.
Jeez. I'm just going to break little pieces.
Good call. How are mine?
No.
What?
Do you know whose dad I saw today?
Whose dad did you see today?
Tay-Tay's.
You saw Tay-Tay's dad today.
Oh, Taylor didn't come today, did she?
Mm-mm.
Where'd you see Tay-Tay's dad?
He came to our school because, Tay-Tay's dad works in the fire department.
Did you guys get to see the fire truck today? Did you guys get the hats?
Oh, you saw a
Yeah.
fire truck today? That's so cool.
And an ambulance, but we got to go inside them.
Oh, you did get to go inside?
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
I keep getting glue on.
That's alright, we'll wash your hands if you're sticky. We won't send you home sticky. Mom wouldn't like that, would she?
Sometimes I'm sticky when I come home. A little
From
bit.
Allison. good. You're excited for Halloween?
Yeah.
What's your favorite candy?
Reese's.
Reese's? Oh, mine too, I think. They're pretty good.
We had a big one, and it was all the peanut butter and the chocolate were all mixed up.
Really?
Yeah. That's not how it was supposed to be. We got a pumpkin.
Oh.
One of those candy pumpkins.
I see.
I need a little bit of...
Need some more glue? Need some help?
Yeah. It's all right.
Alright. I'll shake it a little. Here?
And also up here and right here.
And here? And here?
Yeah, and up here too.
Okay. Got it. Looks good.
If you use less glue, it will dry faster.
Good tip. Good tip. I think that's true. Hi Ellen, so I just completed my OSCE and I'm really impressed by Victoria. She did such a good job. She was so excited to do it, and I think she really liked the idea. I told her she was going to help me with the project, and she really liked the idea that she was kind of being included. So for the VMI, actually after completion, I kind of think that maybe the longer form would have been more challenging for her because she kind of breezed through it really easily, but I made sure that I was looking for things like her stabilizing the paper with her hand and her grip, and those were all really good. She didn't rotate the paper at all, and she didn't struggle until the last three, which were the harder ones, where these were the three that she got points off for. So she did really well on the VMI, and she didn't draw over lines repeatedly. She kind of used, I did use a mechanical pencil because I wanted to take the eraser out, but the lead broke a couple times, so maybe a regular pencil would have been better. But she followed all the directions, so I was super excited about that. During the BOT, she also did really well on all of the BOT activities. With the tracing the lines, she had very few errors. On the crooked line, she got a full score, 7 out of 7. And on the curved line, she only had 2 errors, so she got a 5 out of 7. So that's really good because those were pretty tricky. One thing that I think that I could have done to make it a little bit more challenging was during the jumping jack exercise, I showed her immediately, and I think it might have been more challenging if I had just showed her the pictures. I think she still would have been able to do it, but she completed that really well, and she ended up doing 10 perfect jumping jacks. Connecting the dots, she picked up her pencil once, so that counted as an error, and she got a 6 out of 7 for that section, but I think it was more of just like a habit that she had picked her pencil up because she knew right away when she did it. She was like, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that, and I was like, yeah, that's okay, like, just keep going. During the clinical observations, I think during the catching and throwing, I probably could have been farther apart. We had a really tight space to work with, and that was kind of just the situation that we were in, but you could definitely tell with her catching and throwing that she could do it, and she even said that she plays lacrosse, and she's always catching and throwing with her dad, so that really showed. She had good attention the entire time that I was giving the assessment, and she was engaged and asking questions and kind of almost predicted what each activity would be. Like when I showed her connecting the dots, she was like, oh, is this where I connect the dots here, here, and here? And I kind of had to slow her down and just be like, okay, I have to read these directions first, like, don't start yet. While I was giving the assessment, I think that one thing that I could have done differently was, even though I was really familiar with the manual and I knew what to say, I still felt the need to read it off the paper because I wanted the words to be exact, and it kind of made the flow of the assessment a little bit jumpy. I think that if I kind of just made it more natural. I also had a hard time. I wanted to constantly like encourage her and be like, good job, which I know is okay, but I didn't want that to take away from like the standardization of the assessment. Ultimately, I think she did a really good job, and I'm pretty impressed by her skills. She's only 5, and she won't be 6 until February, so I think she did awesome. She really liked my activity, so what I had my activity was Halloween activity where she cut out the ghost, applied glue and eyes, and used tissue paper and crumbled it up and glued it onto the ghost. I was looking, in this activity, I was looking for her cutting skills while she was cutting out the shape. I was looking for the fine motor and in-hand manipulation and strength to pull the paper off of pull the tissue paper apart and then roll it up into a ball and place it where she wanted to place it. In terms of grading the activity up or down, she really liked it, but I think it could have been harder for her. I had the eyes pre-cut and the shape drawn on the white paper already. I think to make it a little bit harder, I could have had her draw the shape herself or cut out the small black eyes, which would have been a more challenging cut. And I think she would have been able to do it, but just I wasn't sure really, so I'm glad that it had been cut out already. And then to make the activity a little bit easier, I could have had the strips of tissue paper ripped already, so she just had to crumple them. Or I could have even had them already in a ball or had the shapes all pre-cut for her. But she did a great job. Her cutting looked awesome. She stabilized with her one hand and rotated the paper while she was cutting out the shape of the ghost, which was like a pretty tricky shape because the bottom had a squiggle. One thing that we had a little bit of trouble with was the bottle of glue that we used was like really firm and hard to press. So at first she was able to do 2 dots, but then kind of said like, this is really hard, like, can you just put more glue? So I was the one gluing for her, and I think that if I had maybe checked the glue first to make sure that it wasn't too difficult for it to come out, that maybe she could have been able to do the activity totally unassisted. But ultimately, I thought that this was a really good experience, and I'm really proud of my little Tori for doing such a good job. And now I can see why prepping prior to giving an assessment is so important, and why having your materials ready is so important, because they do kind of go through quickly, and sometimes I could see even Tori, like, sometimes the things that were easier for her, she wanted to move on really quick. So having everything ready and prepped definitely helped. And I think next time I give the assessment, I'll just be a little bit more familiar with some of the phrases in the manual, so I didn't have to keep looking at the manual. I mean, I was familiar with it, but I felt the need to kind of double check and make sure I was saying the right thing, or pointing to the right object, and I think that'll just come with practice. But ultimately, I thought this was a great experience, and I really liked it.